In this Apostrophe short video, I'm going to demonstrate how the Apostrophe CMS Pro Automatic Translations extension can speed up the translation of your content into multiple languages when localizing. I'll also touch briefly on some gotchas that can happen during the localization process and how to get around them, while at the same time giving some tips on making localization a little smoother. The Apostrophe CMS Pro Automatic Translation extension allows you to use an AI-powered translation provider to translate dynamic content added to the page as well as alt text added to images when you localize your content. Just as a reminder, localization, often abbreviated as L10N, is the process of adapting the Apostrophe website content for different locales or groups of people. This is usually based on language and country. Without this extension, the workflow is to localize your pieces, pages, and media. This will duplicate the content to the selected locale as draft content. Next, a content manager with proficiency in the locale language can go through and translate the content. With this extension, you can choose to use an AI-powered translation provider to provide a first-pass translation of anything being localized. The content will be added to the new locale in draft form, but now the content manager will have a significantly faster and easier workflow prior to publishing. Out of the box, this extension supports both DeepL and Google Cloud Translation services. However, there's a clear path laid out for developers to add additional providers. The project I'm using for this demo was created with the e-commerce starter kit. This starter kit uses Tailwind for styling and provides some great widgets for getting your project up and running quickly. I currently have a few pages and product pieces all in the English locale. This project also has a global configuration file for the footer, header, and branding. We'll start with localizing this file and the home page. Before we jump into what automatic translations can do for you, a small tip on localization in general. After you localize a document, it's a good idea to check if it looks like all the content transferred as expected. However, you might not be able to read the language of the locale, and when you switch to that locale, all of your admin UI is going to change to that language. The Personal Settings menu can be configured to allow you to set the menu items and manager modals to always be in the language of your choice. For this demo, I've set my language preference to English, but you can change it to any of the locale languages or have it switch with the different locale. Let's take a quick look at the global configuration file. It contains the logo image and the navigation that is shown in the header of each page. So we'll want that translated for each locale. To localize this using automatic translations, it's just like localizing a document normally with one extra step. From the main editing modal, we will open the context menu and select Localize. Next, we will select to localize this document and related documents. Again, there's the logo image, so that's going to be a related document. Then, we'll choose the locales where we want this page. If we had localized this page before, we could select to overwrite any documents that already exist in the new locale. Finally, to get this document translated with automatic translations, we need to check the box to translate the text content. Then, we just click Localize Content. Switching locales, we can see that the navigation at the top of the page has been translated. Okay, now that we have the global translated and localized, we can do the home page. We'll follow the same steps. Open the context menu, select Localize, pick the locales and what documents we want to localize, and then click the automatic translation button, and then click to localize. So here's the first gotcha with localization. You can see on the English homepage that there are two buttons. If we check the Spanish and French pages, those buttons aren't there. Looking at the input fields for the hero, we can see why. Both buttons have links to pages that don't exist in the given locale. Since they are links and could be to pages on our site or pages on another site, they aren't considered related documents and aren't localized. As we will see, those buttons will appear when we localize the two pages that they link to. Scrolling down the page, we see a second gotcha. We added the products at the bottom of the home page with a widget. Those were considered related documents, so they were localized and translated. but the media in them is in a nested relationship. To prevent you from localizing and translating more documents than you intend, we only localize the top level relationship. To get these pieces to populate our page correctly with images, we have to go in and localize each product piece. In the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and localize all the product pieces from the Piece Manager. Then we can localize the last 2 pages. Now that we have all of our products localized, we will see them in our other locale home pages. However, if we were to try and look at those products, we wouldn't be able to because the product page hasn't been localized yet. Let's go ahead and finish our localization and translation. So again, we're just selecting the localization from the context menu, selecting our locales, selecting to translate our content. Actually, I shouldn't update, or I shouldn't overwrite in this case. And then we'll do our outerwear page. So this one's a little different. It doesn't have any related content, so we won't get asked about related content. And we go ahead and localize that last page. Now, if we go over into one of our other locales, we can scroll, we can go directly to the product page. We can see all our products are displayed there. They're nicely translated. And one thing that I kind of glossed over, but I did mention at the beginning, is that all this translated content is in draft and is marked that it has been translated. So that way your content creators can quickly see what needs to be looked at. Once they accept the translations by basically updating the page, those notifications will go away. So that's it for automatic translations. You can see that localization in Apostrophe CMS is easy straight out of the box, and then pairing that with automatic translations lets you get content to the page in that new language very quickly. If you want to learn more about the extension and install it in your project, check out the links in the description below.